Hello everyone. If you're like me, you'd like to avoid some marking maybe sometimes and get the computer to do it. And I'm here to tell you there's some good news. We can get a little add-on called Flubaroo that can mark multi-choice questions for us, and it can produce grade reports and graphs so that we can analyse the kids' work and we can see which questions we might need to teach some more on yet. The starting point for Flubaroo is to set yourself up a Google form and to put your multiple choice questions within the Google form. And you can see when using a Google form, if you smarty up a little bit, you can put stimulus material in, including pictures. Then you can have tables that you can match to, and then you actually come to the answer part where the kids will select an answer. Once you have your Google form set up, you'll need to go off and you'll need to find the little Flubaroo add-on. If you search up Flubaroo just on the internet, you'll come to this site, which will be in the Google suite. You can click install there, and then once it's installed, it'll want to have some permissions because it wants to gain access to your files. You click done, and then you'll see in your spreadsheet section of your Google Sheets that you'll have this, you've got this button called add-ons, and then you'll see once it's installed, Flubaroo will put itself in here, and then you've got all the options underneath Flubaroo which appear on the right hand side. But we've got to do something before we get to here. We've got to actually get the kids to do the assessment item, and then Flubaroo itself will produce this spreadsheet for us. So the first step is to produce your Google form, get your stimulus in, get your questions in. It's quite good. You can, if you think, you can get that done quite nicely. As is usual with any Google form, once the students have submitted their test paper, their survey results, a spreadsheet will be made up, and it's in these spreadsheets now where we'll go to work. So I'm in a spreadsheet, so I'm just going to get Flubaroo to regrade the assignment. In step one, Flubaroo is going to want to ask you what you want to do with your different questions. So you've got all of your questions that you've set down here. I've got 40 in this case. And so the question prompt will be there, and then you'll just select normal grading. The trick is, though, at the top, you really need to, in your Google form, have designed it so that you're collecting student email addresses, which it does that automatically, but I would make a column just so that you keep everything clear. And then a name or surname, you can merge those. But we need to know who the students are, and we need to click on this down arrow here to say that we do want to identify the student in this case for these first three, and then after that it's normal grading. But I want to identify the student so that I can get them feedback later on. Step 2 is really important because in here it's going to ask you what's your marking scheme, your answer key, okay? So you need to actually do the Google form yourself and put in the correct answers, and I would advise calling that your answer key or answer scheme, mark scheme, whatever you like, and then you can click continue, and the computer will run off and it will mark the entire assignment for you. And it will make this spreadsheet, and it will tell you the percentage that got the question right or wrong for each question, and it will go across through all the questions, and it will tell you the answer for each student. It does this by making this extra tab on the bottom here next to the student submissions, which is called the grades. And what you can do now, which is very powerful, is you can come back to the Flubaroo add-on, and you can click Share Grades. And in here, share it with everyone if you want to, and you can leave a message for them, and when you click continue, each student will receive an email, and you can also include the mark scheme, the answer key with them, so if the student wants to review the work, they can. The other cool thing that Flubaroo can do is that it can do a grade report, which is quite handy, and in that case, you can view a table which shows you where things have gone wrong or right in a visual perspective. So it's really only a two-step process. Once you've installed Flubaroo, you've just got to set up the identification for the students. Then you've got to put in your answer scheme. It produces this spreadsheet for you, and you can see a grading report, and then you can start targeting specific information that you need to reteach. So I hope you can get the idea of getting a computer to do your marking for you. Remember, this is just for multi-choice questions, but multi-choice questions are actually being found to have a high efficacy, and they are a good way of teaching and learning. So I hope that you can use this to make your teaching easier and more efficient. Thank you.